female entrepreneurs turned besties share on life, business, and the journey through the mess. Join their community with every new episode for connection, education, a few laughs, and the hype energy like a bathroom full of drunk girls at a bar. It's okay.
We're your friends now!
Hey guys, it's Ashleigh.
Hey, it's Katie.
Hey, it's Biz. And welcome to this week's episode of We're Your Friends Now. And we are so excited to talk to you guys today because we're talking about encouragement. Woo! Everybody needs encouragement. And I'm really glad that we're talking about this. We're getting really intentional about the conversation because encouragement is one of those things that just gets flown around all the time, or thrown around rather all the time with people like, oh yeah, I need this, but we don't really dive down deep. And I was actually going through an exercise on conversion in my business with some other business leaders. And they were talking about how important it is to quantify a conversion from a call to a hot lead, from a cold lead to a hot lead, and how important it is to dig down on what those actual check boxes are for you to define it as such. And it got me thinking on bigger ideas like encouragement. Well, what is encouragement, and what does that mean to me? And how do I go and get it whenever I need it and all of those things. So I am really excited to have this conversation, to be honest. So let's just kind of start with that. Katie, how would you define encouragement?
Ooh, hang on. I'm going to look up the actual definition of encouragement. And then I can tell you how mine differs.
Well, Ashleigh, what's your knee-jerk definition of encouragement?
My knee-jerk definition would be something that makes you feel positive.
Cool. So something that makes you feel positive. Okay. And then Katie, did you find the actual definition?
I did. It is the action of giving someone support, confidence, or hope.
Ooh.
I like that.
So how does yours differ? Or are you going to say I agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know that it actually differs from that because I think that those things are support, confidence, hope. I think that's pretty encompassing of what encouragement is. To me, it's a yay, or so Connor's super into Super Mario right now. So in our house, it's just wahoo for everything.
I love that. Yeah. Cool. So why is encouragement important to you? And do you self-encourage, or do you go to people for encouragement? Are you intentional about going for encouragement, or does it just kind of happen organically in your conversations? I really want to ask you this question because every time I talk to you, I am encouraged.
Me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thanks. So, okay, so that was 5 questions.
I know. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just going to break them down. What was it? Am I intentional with it? Yes.
Yes.
Very. The people in my circle, I feel I am always looking for a way to encourage the people in my circle, and I'm always looking for how it would best be done for them. If they need a boost of confidence, if they need somebody cheering them on, if they need help with something like a good word, whatever it is, I'm looking for ways to encourage them in the way that they need. Encouragement is important to me. Words of encouragement is literally my love language. So
really? Yeah.
And so if I don't have it, I assume people don't mean it or think it. So, and I have to separate myself from this thinking a lot because words are really natural to me. Obviously, I love to talk, and it's my MO to look if I see something, I point it out, something good, right? I always want to acknowledge the good in other people. And so it's my natural state of thinking that if somebody isn't saying it, then they aren't thinking it. Which is harmful.
Is it though? Because whenever I talk to you, And like, I don't say those things. I really appreciate you saying them for me. It's like you're like bumper guards in my thought process for me of like making sure I don't go off into a not productive headspace whenever I'm chewing through something.
Right, because that's how I'm going to encourage you.
You encourage people differently?
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to.
Oh.
So it's like an example of like, you don't have to obviously name a bunch of names if you don't want to, or you could just use Biz and I as examples if you encourage us differently. What is something that keyed you to like tuning into these two people need different encouragement?
Probably either things that I know that you're struggling with or understanding how you receive love. Or just kind of being plugged into like what you're going through. So like okay, I'll use a different group chat as an example where somebody actually acknowledged it once. One of my friends side messaged me in a group chat and she was like, no matter how crazy things get, you always make sure to like laugh, react, or acknowledge the things that I say as jokes. And like, because I know that she thinks she's funny and she is funny. And she's married to somebody who doesn't laugh at her jokes and it hurts her feelings. And when people acknowledge that she like put together a joke, or for her, it takes a lot of confidence to like say something that she thinks is funny. I want to appreciate it and encourage her to continue like doing those things and stepping into that. And so that's like such a small thing, but there's even things like, Ashleigh, if I'm on Instagram and I see something that you posted, I will always try to like love it or comment on it to help boost it, right? And then like I'll sometimes message you about some of them and like acknowledge, like I like to call you out as a badass, or the things that I know that like you've walked through a lot of things and made some decisions and like, you know, worked really hard to figure out what you want your path to be. And so I always want to like encourage that. And Biz, there's things about you that like I know they took a lot of faith or overcoming fear. And so I always want to like point that out with words to you, or don't let you spiral too far and make you stop and appreciate how far you've come, because I know you won't. Does that make sense? That was like a really long ramble.
This is how you know Katie's a high eye.
Like, I 100% believe everything you just said and how intentional you are with that. And like, holy shit, am I glad to be your friend? Like, with that. And I'm glad that I have people like you in my circle. And like, that's a beautiful example of how you are constantly just in being you and what you do, like giving me more things to strive for, because like, I love you so much, Katie. I love that. And I love that too, because like, I know that like, one, like, I know like a lot of that comes naturally to you, right? Like your eye, right.
Mm-hmm.
is you, and the years that you've put in it, like honing those skills, that is just so impressive that you can just rattle that off. Cause like, I sure as shit can't. I'm like, oh, you want some encouragement? Like, come here, let me give you some of this energy. You know, like, but it's like you gotta like the flavor I'm serving that day, or it ain't. Be like, eat it and like it.
Eat it or starve.
But, wow, that's man. Wow, that's why I wanted to ask you these questions, but they're like. I mean, well, yeah, Biz, actually, I'm really intentional about it. Thanks for noticing.
But I think that brings up such a good point, is that it's so easy to say, well, that's a natural talent of Katie's, but she has still spent a lot of time developing and mastering that skill. And I think that's just such a good thing to point out, because sometimes it feels like I listen to that and I think, holy cow, that's overwhelming. Like I would need a whole ass spreadsheet. And then I have to go to my spreadsheet and see what, and like
so organized. You probably all have Trello boards that are
I actually so okay, so the loving people and the wanting people to feel loved, seen, acknowledged, encouraged, like that does come naturally most days. And like I study people and behaviors and character traits and all of that in order to love people better. I want to understand them so that I can love them better. But like my screenshots in my camera is mostly like people will post something and it's like I need to go back and comment on that. I need to send them a text of like encourage. It's all like I cannot do it in this moment, and like it's all just like screenshots of like make sure you talk to this person, make sure you do this, like be
Dude,
sure to reach
that
out to them.
happened to me last week. I text my okay, so I have this guy that I closed no shit like 12 loans for in like 6 months in the middle of COVID. It was insane. Like we were refinancing, pulling cash out, buying properties. Like he sent me 5 contracts in 3 different states on the same day one day because I told him that he had like, it was insane and he enjoyed it. But like I haven't talked to him in a hot minute because, you know, rates have skyrocketed and like things have been busy. And I was just thinking about him. I texted him and I was like, hey, like I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Like, you know, just kicking ass, da da da. And then he went in to go like want to have this whole ass long text conversation. And I was like, bro, no, that's not what this was. This was like, I had like 30 seconds in between appointments and I've been thinking about you for 2 weeks. And I finally said hi. And then I struggle with that on like how to go back. And so I do you time block that? Does that just happen? Like, do you lose track? Like, how do you?
Okay, so like transparency, because I care about authenticity. Literally nothing in my life is time blocked right now. We are all 3 sick. Connor's in probably the worst sleep regression of his life and a growth spurt and the time change. Time is a complete illusion in my life at this moment. I have no clue what's happening. I thought that I sat down on the bed for literally 2 minutes last night when I went upstairs to get something, and Brett texted me, "Did you die?" I have no clue how long I was there.
Hashtag tell her mom.
Yeah. So yes, I used to time block time to like go back, right? Because you think about, we'll put it in real estate terms, right? The 5 jobs of a real estate agent are lead generate, lead follow up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, script and role play. And so for me, that was like lead follow up, basically. Like, you know, it's like you send out the text and then you have time block to respond to all of the texts. That's just, I'm not calling my friends leads, but like, that's how my brain, like you can text it. But I also preface it with people, like, if I don't have time, I just say I don't have time. Like, hey, was thinking about you, wanted to shoot you a quick text. If you have time next week, I'd love to like hop on the phone for 30 minutes and just like set the expectation that you're going to talk to them in depth later if they want. But otherwise, I just make it known, like, this is not the opening of a conversation. This is, I love you. That's all.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Katie, I also like, I think you've taken so much time in honing that tool. That it just comes naturally to you, so you can trust yourself to act and show up in the moment in front of you whenever time is an illusion. And I think that that's really cool. Also, like talking about encouragement, to me, it's like an energy exchange. And so it's like easier for me to encourage someone. I don't know. I interesting. But to me, like encouragement almost happens organically in my mind. It's not something that I'm intentional about. It's something that I honestly have like learned as a gift of mine because people come to me. And I've had more of a kind of like Diana when she was talking about like protecting her energy space. Like I think that's why I related to that so much, because I am just such a free flowing faucet that I'm like, oh, you want some of this? Come and get it, you know? But then I can squirrel and like run away and not and throw my energy into things and in my encouragement into things that aren't aligned with like my goals and whatnot. And so yeah. Interesting. What about you, Ashley? When do you see encouragement? Like, do you recognize it when it's happening, or is it just kind of like I feel better?
Yeah, I think I definitely have noticed like there's times I'm more open to receiving it. And I think of that specifically when you're venting. There's times where like you're just there to vent, like just got to get it out and just have somebody agree like that's nuts that that's happened or that's shitty that that's happened. And I know I'm not feeling down about it. I don't need you to tell me you can do hard things. I just need to like confirmation. Like this is fucking insane, right? But I think that still is a form of encouragement. Like, yes, you're not crazy. They are, and you're cooking good. Like, I need people just as delusional as I am.
Yeah.
Well, I think
for
it's
sure.
encouragement because it's like a battle buddy. It's like, I'm right here with you. Like that blows.
Yeah. And so there's that. And then there's times where you're like, real vulnerable talk. And I've been trying to get better about being open with just how awful 2023 was for me mentally. And the more I talk about it, the more people open back up to me and say, it was god awful for me too. And that is a form of encouragement as well. Like you said, with the battle buddy, like we weren't open. And that was a mistake on all of our parts with sharing how big of a struggle it was in the moment. And we can both look back at that year now and go, that sucked. We're not repeating that mentality or being in that place or whatever. Let's keep it going. And so it helps to be able to say like, man, this sucks. Like this fell apart. I just had some buyers that had to back out of a transaction and it was pretty brutal because it was fairly last minute. And it just sucks when you get through every hurdle and they pull out. You're like, it sucks for me and my checkbook. It sucks for the buyers because they aren't making the move that they thought they would. It sucks for the seller who is going to go buy another place. And it sucks for the seller of that place. And it sucks for that. It's like such a big train reaction of suck. And to go through that alone, not only alone as the buyer agent, but I'm the emotional resource for my buyers to encourage them. Like, it's okay to make this decision for yourself. And, it's going to be okay. So I'm so drained to have people to turn to and be like, holy shit, I can't believe all this is happening. And I don't even know like what I'm going to do next, or if I can get their earnest money back or what, and to have people that say, you can do this. It's like, sometimes you just need that little push.
So encouragement for you, it sounds like is a lot of it is solidarity.
Yeah, it is. And I think that roots back to a lot of what I deal with being very highly present online and Patrick Brussel, who's an agent in Boston, also deals with a ton of it, is people that just want to come and shit on you all the time online. Just a byproduct of being there. And there's nothing like somebody can make a mean comment. Like somebody made one about my hair. And it's like, I don't accept that as a fact. So I'm not questioning it. And I don't need people to tell me, no, I love your hair. But I do want people to say, LOL, that person is dumb. So solidarity.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Wow. Okay, cool. I'm learning how to be a better friend to you. I love this. Katie totally has my card
right now.
Yeah, Katie totally has my card. Like the way you just read me like earlier is so me. But like I also like I think that was kind of like the big shift for me, like the way back at our beginning episode where like you laughed at me and I was like, you're my real friend. It was like like I knew that you weren't just I wasn't just in your Rolodex that you were tapping into, that it was things that like you sincerely meant. And that still means the world to me, Katie. It really does. And like I wow. I really need to sit with this more on like how I receive encouragement. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about how I give it out to people. I didn't think about how I receive it. And like,
you want me to fuck you up a little more?
Yeah, bring it to me, baby. Give it to me good.
So like I said, for me, it's like if they don't say it, they don't think it, or they don't mean it, right? So when you think about how people receive encouragement, you also have to think about what will make them feel alone or neglected. Right. And so like, and you have to build up like this sense of trust. So like for me, especially, and so this is probably people who are words of affirmation. If somebody like is consistently in my life and does not give me words of affirmation, that's fine. Like that's totally fine. And then all of a sudden they're coming out of the gate with like a bunch of nice things. I am most likely going to not take it as encouragement and take it as manipulation trying to get me to do something.
Interesting.
So it's like I have to consistently see that like this is a pattern and it's heartfelt. And so that's why I try to always also do really, really little ones for people so that it's like a consistent, I am consistently encouraging and supporting them like on their journey.
Wow. Yeah.
You know,
That's exactly, that's a good point, because like, that's why a lot of times I watch people, like I'm a watcher, and like, it's so weird, right? Because like, sounds creepy, but it is actually a little creepy, but I'm trying to figure out how to like tell people that I have watched them for a while and really want to be in their world without sounding like the next you Netflix like person. Like
probably just like, oh my gosh, I've been so excited to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for those words. It's like people text me out of the like seemingly out of the blue, and I am like, oh my god, it's happening.
Wait, I texted literally those words to Ashleigh earlier. Oh no, it was last night. It's happening. Come back.
It's happening.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So how do you do that when you're feeling empty? Like, is it like I was saying earlier, like Katie, like you've trained it. It's like a muscle. It's like muscle memory to you at this point, right? Yeah. Ashleigh, what about you? Like, are you intentional with your encouragement when you're feeling crappy, or do you know who to go to for encouragement when you're feeling crappy?
You know, I want to answer after Ashleigh answers because I do have an answer to that. Go ahead.
Okay.
But go.
Okay. So sometimes I feel like the hard part is if you've been struggling with, like, especially if you're struggling with kind of the same thing, eventually you feel like you've talked to everybody about it, and like you've done that multiple times and they're tired of hearing about it. And so you're like, okay, I don't feel like I can share anymore, or like this, I should be able to put this away because I've talked about it and there's nothing, like there's no thing to be done about it. It just is what it is and it sucked. And so that is when I struggle the most, when there's like something I'm still mad about, but I know everybody else like wasn't affected by it, so they're not as mad. And you can't keep bringing like, you know, like a group chat. Everybody is having like, they're all really high up on their energy levels. They're having good days. And you don't want to be the person that comes in, you know, to Eeyore it all up and be like, womp womp, I'm still upset about yesterday. So I try to be mindful of it. Not always perfect. But that's hard. And when you're running on empty, it's really easy for me, especially, to just be like withdrawn. And that is a big key to me, when all of a sudden I feel like, you know what, I'm just going to leave this group chat and leave that group chat. And I'm going to like not talk to anybody. And I'm like, that's a really big key to me, that I am like completely depleted and that I need to reach out to somebody one-on-one. So I try to be mindful and do that and reach out specifically to somebody, maybe not like to say, hey, I'm still upset about XYZ that's happening, but even to just talk can refill that need for connection and start filling my cup up with something. So if your cup is completely empty and you're really hyper-focused on like, I need encouragement, but I feel like I can't get it right now, starting with filling your cup up with just something can really help get that ball rolling.
That's such a phenomenal statement. We might have just found like the first clip that we take out and post on social media. Like that was so good.
Well, Katie, it mirrors one of a conversation that you had a long time ago with me about energy exchange. And like, you know, how like when your cup is, so to me, it's like when my cup is empty, I call someone else and I just talk to them. And that recharges my batteries in those conversations. And then like I realized in my business that I have to make time for those conversations, right? Because that's the syndication with it. But Katie, how were you gonna answer it? Yeah.
Okay, so you said something about like how do you do it when you feel depleted, and then you asked me if it's muscle memory, and like kind of yes, and I am like consciously intentional about it, but I love the timeliness of this because last week I was feeling depleted. The week before also. The past like 2.5 weeks have been really, really difficult, and I have felt unappreciated, unloved, unwanted, unvalued, like all of the things. And I felt like my wheels were spinning and trying to get that back from me so that I could pour from the saucer, right? And then like more and more things unfolded over the past week where I had to consciously choose to make the priority to encourage others because there were others fighting a battle that my battle position was to encourage them, right? That's my role. And I finally told Brett last night, I was like, we say pour from the saucer. I'm not even pouring from an empty cup. I'm like grandma's old china that got thrown in the back of the moving van, moved across the country and got left in the Arizona desert for a month, like dried up, broken. There's nothing, like I don't have anything to pour from, and I don't have any way to catch any that's coming in. And I was like, and the thing that bothers me more is like, because all of this has built up so much, like I don't even want to. I just want to sit here and be upset. And like, I don't even have the time to do that. And I was like, I just want to feel really bad. And I think this, like, I wanted Ashleigh is like, I want solidarity. I'm like, I want somebody to see how bad I feel and acknowledge that like it sucks. And then I'm like justified in feeling that way. And I think sometimes it's like a little disappointing, and we can be honest about that when you don't get that of like,
yeah,
we all want our feelings to be validated, right? And like having to tell myself this isn't the time for that just like sucks. And there were things like I have this other group of friends that's super supportive, my little mom group, and like I wanted to talk to them because I knew I would get it there. But I mean, y'all, it's a lot of stuff with work and other things like that.
Hard to explain.
The insane amount of backstory I would have to give people to make them understand is exhausting. And
it is so hard.
Yeah. You and I talked about
Katie
that last night.
We were just talking about this last night. I was trying to explain to my husband what is going on with something at work, and we probably can't talk about it because there's things going on. But basically, there were layoffs somewhere in the company, and there's a lot of question. So I'm trying to explain it to him and explain to him how all these, and he doesn't even have a Facebook. And I'm trying to explain to him all, there's different group chats. And then like, it was so hard. Like at the end of it, he's literally glazed over, just like, okay. So yeah, it's hard.
I just imagine you like in your living room with those like photos and the red tape connect or the red thread. Like,
I want you to show up and cuddle me, okay? Just come here and cuddle me. Give me your heat.
And so like, you know, I had felt did I lose? So I had felt like really, really, really bad. And usually words are the thing, right? And that's going to help. And I asked Brett the other night, I was like, can you just say something I did well today before I go to bed so that like I can end on a happy note or something? But even then, like he told me and I was like, well, I'm not in a headspace to really like believe. Like, I believe you mean it, and like it's not helping, you know, I don't know what'll fix it.
Yeah.
And so then like little things like last night we were out running errands, trying to put our son to sleep in the car. And Brett ran into the store and he came out and they have brownies I really like. And he just like picked up the brownies and he was like, I thought you could use a sweet treat. And I was like, I think it's just that like being seen. Yes. But like just the acknowledgement of the feelings. And so that was my 34-minute dissertation. Basically, encouragement is just recognizing where somebody is and how much you appreciate them. And now I'm going to cry. This has been.
And now I'm going to cry.
I'm grateful you chose this topic, Biz, because I did not want to do it. because I have not been in a happy place for
That was like
almost
me in the waddle episode. You were like, we're gonna do waddling and Biz is gonna do it. I was like, because I'm waddling actively right now and super uncomfortable with my life. Yeah, I love you, Katie. And like oh, thanks. But like you do. So like for me, like I was saying, like I'm not even like mindful of encouragement and like it's so funny.
But because you are such an encouraging person, I think that's what makes it so funny. We were at this conference and I'm at lunch with Biz, and every conversation she's like telling people how great they are and how she can have just met you 5 minutes ago. She'll find something to compliment you on, and it's so genuine. So that's what's so funny to think that you're like, I literally don't think about encouragement at all. And I'm like, how's that possible?
Biz is one of the only people that I know who like we will be in the middle of a conversation and she'll just be like, I love this conversation.
This is such a great conversation we're having right now, guys. Which is totally what you just did to me, Katie.
So it's wild to me that you like don't think about it at all. Biz is just out here freeballing life with encouragement and like doing the most. And I have Trello boards of like,
well, okay, like more vulnerability. I think the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm like wanting to be mirrored. Like, like I mean, like real talk.
It's like a bid. Have you heard of that? Where
like a what? Like a bid
where you're putting out a bid, it's basically like an ask, but without directly asking. So they say like a bid is like if you're like, oh my gosh, the birds are out here chirping and they sound so lovely. And what you're really saying is, come listen to these birds with me. You're asking for that, but you're not directly saying.
But you don't want to ask for it.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what I think it is, Ashleigh. That I appreciate you like connecting that because it's like I don't want to talk about this. I want to have happy, productive conversations that are intentional and move us forward. And so let's start with something good and amplify that and find the good in the bad that you're talking to me about. And so like, it's kind of where I think my vulnerability, right? Like I lead with that. It's the same way. It's like leading with that. So it's interesting. I never thought of that as encouragement. I think of it more of like gratitude, like what's something that I can be grateful for in this person in this moment. And then like they're missing and like,
but that is encouraging.
Like, yeah. Okay. Y'all should have asked me what I thought encouragement was.
Backtrack.
Can you define encouragement? When I feel good after we got done talking.
A smiley face sticker.
Yeah, but I think also for me too, it's like when you give encouragement sincerely, it's also easier to be encouraged, like kind of like what you were talking about, Katie, and like it's sincerity. And so I feel like maybe it's like an alpha move in a weird way. Like I have to like find your spot and hit you first and make sure that this is like real. And then you speak to me.
No, I'm going to make you feel good first.
Yeah. Then that's, but like, then I'm like, okay, well, like if I can connect with you on this level, then like, okay, now you can pour into me.
Oh my gosh, Biz, I am going to ruin all of your days now. And every time you call me, I'm going to be like, you're so pretty. Hi.
This conversation is so good already.
Oh my God. I'm so uncomfortable just at the idea of that.
This is great. I think this is an exercise we should be working on for the week and see how it goes.
Wow, I'm like really a control freak with this shit. Like I need to let go and like let people love on me a little bit more. And maybe I would see more of it there. Yeah.
Do you think though that it's also like Ashleigh saying a bit like the way that you want to point out gratitude to people first. You're like, this is a safe space to do this. And like, no matter, because for me, it's more of like, I'm sorry for what my face says. I really do love you. So I'm just going to put that into words. So maybe you're just like opening the door to try and show guidance of where you want the conversation to go.
Well, and
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder about things like, if somebody says gratitude to me first and then I say it back, I worry that I don't sound genuine.
Yeah.
But if I get there first, I know I sound more genuine.
Yeah. You don't want to feel like you're reciprocating. You're
Yeah,
just like, this
just
was
for
an
the sake of it, at
obligation
least.
because it's weird.
Yeah.
That's a big part of the reason why when a woman compliments me, I just say thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't really
justify it or like, oh,
Yeah,
I haven't done my hair in weeks, but thank you. Like,
yeah, no, I just say thank you. Like, I don't feel the need to reciprocate compliments. Like, you ain't gonna fish for shit with me. Like, I ain't saying anything I don't mean, like I almost feel like I've like really worked at that, at just like owning a compliment when somebody gives it to you. So it's not not fake gratitude or fake compliments when I give it back. But it's so funny because I had someone, I don't know if I've talked about this on a podcast or not. So if I have, I apologize for all of our frequent listeners that know exactly what we've said in all of these episodes.
Somebody's out there has a solo board of all our episodes.
But like, I was at a mortgage thing. I never go to mortgage conferences. Like, they are full of male ego, just dripping with male ego. And it just is like, ugh, it just gross. And so I like really try to avoid them like the plague. But I was at one and there was this woman and she complimented my dress. And I just said, oh yeah, thanks girl. Yeah. And then the guy I was with was like, and Biz, now you say, and thank you for her. And I immediately was like, oh yeah, where are my manners? And so I complimented her back. And then I was like, the fuck?
I'm not kidding. I just got dizzy.
Dude, like, no, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. And so later we ended up, me and that guy, that dude, friend of mine, like he really thought he was looking out for me. Like he really did. He thought he was looking out for me when he complimented. He thought I was being a bitch and he was helping me not be a bitch is what he did. And I know that, like, I know he wasn't malicious in it, but like, whatever. And so later we had lunch and the woman sat with us again. She came over and sat with us. And he like brought it up again. And I was like, oh no, dude, I'm about to like alpha the fuck out of you in this moment. And you're going to be the one to learn how this happens. And so I had a conversation with the woman and I just called a spade a spade. I said, I really appreciate you complimenting me the way I did. Did you do that with the intention of me saying something back? No. And she said, no, you own that, girl. I meant it. I said, thank you. And so like right then and there, like, yeah, anyway, I just tangent, but like, yeah, I had somebody correct me that I wasn't complimenting the right way. And I am like, dude, just because somebody compliments you doesn't mean you have to compliment them back. And also that's me. Like I get weirded out when people, you're right, Ashleigh. Like if I'm going into that spiel, this is really how I do it. Y'all are right. Like I get into y'all have seen me in these conversations. I'm not even conscious of it. But that's like what I do naturally is like I dig down deep and then it's like, okay, I got to see how you receive this first before I can receive anything. And I need to stick with myself on that though, because I wonder what encouragement I'm closing off for myself by having that. And so I thank you guys for bringing that to my attention about me. Like I do, I appreciate it. I trust you. Like, thank you.
Yeah. Do you know how pumped I would be if I gave someone a compliment and they were like, hell yeah.
Yes.
Don't say anything back to me. Just be like, yeah, I know. Okay, great.
I agree. Yes. Because especially woman to woman, like how ingrained it is to justify their compliment. And I don't want that for you. I didn't give you this compliment for you to start making excuses or downplaying your success, your beauty, your brains. Like that is not why I gave you this compliment.
You know, I
And I
realized
should
something.
not be the first one who acknowledges your like how amazing you are. It should be you. And just in case you haven't, here you go. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
But like
This
if
why we gotta infiltrate every bathroom at every conference that we're at, and just be like, no, shh, no talking. You look great.
Biz, may I recommend that this is not the time that you start saying, I've been watching you.
My delivery problem. That's I go in there. Ashleigh, I've noticed you do this really well, and like I want you to do that to me. So how do we get friends? So I can get that like face to face.
I
Like
just pictured Biz like sliding into the stall before somebody has a chance to close the door and just be like, shh. You.
She's crouched on the back of the toilet. Like, that dress looks really good on you.
you look
You're
great.
killing that lipstick color. Bitch, let me see your nails.
Dude, how you know I don't say that? How you know, Katie?
Because you haven't been arrested yet for that.
For that? No, just kidding. Nowhere.
Oh
No.
my god.
But hold on. There was something about the compliments. Oh, I realized though at that conference, I beta tested this, and I realized that it wasn't my clothes that I don't think they were complimenting me. I think it was my confidence, and that women didn't know that that's what they were complimenting, and they were just finding something to compliment. But I don't know. I got like hyper focused on this whole thing after that guy like got on to me about how I didn't reciprocate. And I was like, am I an asshole? Like, and so I just became like hyper aware of it in every single compliment I gave out and like received. And then I just started tracking it and figuring it out. And I think I literally told someone else, I was like, I don't think people are complimenting like my dress. I think they're complimenting like my confidence and like how I'm like walking.
Because remember at Mega Camp, another conference last year, that Katie was working a booth and she had on
that green dress.
A green dress. I couldn't really remember the dress, but I can remember is the way she walked with her shoulders back, her chin up, purpose in her. I mean,
dude, you were rocking those heels too. Like on carpet, on squishy carpet. And Ashley and I were like mid conversation, and then you walked past, and both of us were like, whoa. Yeah, like, yeah.
100%. So yeah, I remember
money dress.
You complimented Katie on her dress, and then you changed it right after and said just the way she's walking.
Yeah. No, that's just Katie. Yeah, that's actually, it was after Mega Camp. It was right after Mega Camp this happened to me. And that's probably why it was on my mind.
Probably why.
And I was in a green dress that I may or may not have bought because your green dress influenced me. And I was like, I want a green dress that I can rock.
You do.
And just like, I want a black pantsuit that you guys now have that I don't. Black jumpsuit.
So now you need a black pantsuit because you really do feel pretty good in a black jumpsuit.
Like, I know that's going to be our new promotional pictures whenever we take. We can't take anything until I find a black jumpsuit. No. But like, do you ever? What about that? Do you feel encouraged? Like, how do you encourage yourself? Like, do you like? What about that? Like, whenever you're feeling empty, like I like to call other people, right, and like touch base with them. But like, how do you do it on your own? Like, do you sit? To me, like good clothes. Like I love clothes. And my lipstick. My lipstick is that for me too. It's like my armor.
Good. Yeah, there's little things like that help. Like definitely I am a person that's like, if I'm wearing pajamas all day, I will get less done and I will feel worse. But I also recognize that sometimes like that's okay. And you can just have, horizontal days or whatever. And that's fine. But I literally started, I forget where I first heard this from. I started talking to myself as if I was my daughter or a friend or something like that. So when I'm letting myself have negative thoughts or I'm in a negative place, it's like, instead of being like, man, Ashleigh, you really fucked that one up, or like, you can't do anything right. It's replacing it with like, I would never say that to my friend who's going through what I'm going through. That's insane. And so it's literally like, Ashleigh, why don't we go get you a brownie? You deserve a little food. Let's
Ashleigh
go
gets a little
sit. What else is gonna make you feel better? Like, I literally start babying myself like somebody that I would encourage.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I try and do something that I'm good at. Or that I like, so I haven't done this in a while. I used to bake when I was stressed or like upset with myself, because like I have this go-to cake. It's the only cake I like. It's also super easy. And like, I know no matter what else I've messed up, if I put these ingredients in there in this way, it's going to come out great. It's going to be delicious. I made something good and I'm going to enjoy eating it. So that's good. Or like doing things like crochet is my newest thing. It's challenging, it's difficult, and like when I get it right, I feel really good. So like there's a lot of mistakes along the way, but then I get something right. I'm like, "Ooh, look, I did that." And so I'll feel discouraged, then I'll go do something that maybe I know I'm really good at, or that's a challenge that I know I can overcome, and then I feel a little bit better about myself, you know. Or like I was telling,
I like that.
I have a group chat that I messaged the other day, and it was actually yelling at them because I was like, I distinctly remember telling y'all 5 years ago that if I was ever in a funk that you needed to tell me to wash my hair. And I was like, and ain't
Oh
none
my
of y'all said that
God.
recently. And I hadn't
So
washed my hair in a
true.
very long time. And I washed my hair and I was like, I am
Reborn.
I am a functional human. I am
Yeah.
a functional human who is doing okay. I should probably do that tonight.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Like on a surface level, washing your hair, putting on a little bit of makeup, you know, the fake tan, bamboozling
Yeah.
myself into thinking I've been on vacation.
Deep cleaned our bathroom last night. That made me feel better. So I think for me, if I need, maybe this is what I'm leading myself to, is like instant gratification type things
Oh.
where I knew that I had to put in the effort to make it happen, no matter how little the effort is, right? Like we got this new scrubber on TikTok Shop, by the way, best thing
Is it one of
ever.
those little like automatic things?
Oh my gosh, it has all these different heads you can change in and out.
That's
And then
cool.
yeah, it has a button and like it's incredible. And so we got it last night and like we deep cleaned our bathroom. The whole thing took like, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe with like what we were doing because we had already sprayed it down and stuff, you know, but like, okay, 15 minutes worth of effort in our the tile in our shower looks brand new. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that feels
That's
great.
a
And I feel a
great
little bit
point.
better about myself and my space looks better, you know?
So what if like you're in the middle of like let's say you're in sales, for anybody that's in sales, and you have to have 2 hours of outbound sales calls, and all of them so far you have quote unquote failed. You've not been able to get an appointment and you still have like an hour left of calling. You need to encourage yourself. What is something you might do in that moment?
Ooh, plug in a dummy call.
Ooh. So
Tell
call like a
somebody.
friend.
Like a
Call a
script
friend
practice?
and do like a script practice. Yeah.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Or like have affirmations or change. I'm a big fan of changing your space. So like if you've been calling in the same space, you're carrying that negative energy, like right there, go move to another room or another desk or go on a walk and make some calls, but like change your space.
I like that.
I like music. There's certain music that I listen to, and again, shout out Becca Lutz. She has amazing Spotify playlists, as does Emily Husky. Like sleeper agent, y'all. Emily Husky's Spotify, get in there. It is so good.
Yeah.
But they have like these songs that I like. One of them is pronoia instead of paranoia. So it's that everything in the world is conspiring to your favor. And then I also I love this movement that is coming out. Like it's like hip hop songs that are affirmations. And so like it's got a good beat to it. It's high energy, but it's like I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. Happy, healthy, wealthy. You know, and that and yeah. So no, music helps me. Instant
Music is a big
gratification
one.
things.
Yeah.
With that, the affirmations and all the stuff that we've broken down before, but like pulling from all of it. That's interesting.
I used to also, so when I was an agent and I had like my lead generation time, I would have like, okay, I need to make 100 calls today. And so I literally had a little stack. I had a little tin of 100 pennies. And at the beginning of the day, I would dump them out. And then when I would make the call, they would go back in the tin. If they answered, then they would go in like a little stack. And so it was a visual for me. So like if I was getting really low on my energy, I could just look at my little stack of pennies and I'm like, I don't have any left. And then I can go get tacos. Like I just have to blow through these calls and then I get lunch.
I use some margaritas every once in a while. I would literally put like, as soon as I have enough tallies, margarita. And so I'd leave just enough room. It's like, just get your tallies to the margarita, girl.
Yes. Like just get there. Just get through. As Biz says, the only way out is through.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I love when people throw that back at me in my words. And I'm like that's another thing when we're talking about encouragement. Holy shit. Have you ever had anybody throw your own words back at you? Oh my God.
Rough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, bruh. Like you want to make me cry. Like you throw words at me that I've said to you. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. I do know those things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just do it, bitch.
Just
Stop
do it.
sucking. Like get through it.
Speaking of, we touched on, I think it was 2 episodes ago now, we touched on the whole Mel Robbins, her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. And I was trying it and it just was not doing anything for me. And I was really disappointed because I was like, that felt like such a good thing to do and a thing to try. And it's doing nothing for me. And I added in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, say the thing you need to do. So if it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put your shoes on. That made me do it. But I had to know what I was going to do. So if it was like, I need to get up and go to the gym, or I need to go over to work, or I need to make that phone call, it was literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pick up the phone.
Wow.
And as many times as I needed it, I used it. So if after I picked the phone up, I still didn't want to like dial, I wanted to open up TikTok instead, it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open your phone. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go to your contacts. Like as minimal like babying as I need to do to get myself to do the things. That helped so much for me personally. Cause 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It's just not, I was like laying in bed, like
go
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
back
go.
to sleep.
Well, that's like, I know I actually really am proud of you for finding that little hack and like, thank you for sharing it because like I say, you're way better than I am because I like the first 3 days or so that I was trying to do it. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exactly like she was saying. And 5, I was 4, like, 3, 2, wow, she's something else to do. I was like, wow, she's right. Like the longer I say 1, the harder it is to move. But I was almost like reverse engineering it. And then like for me, it's like, wow, like this is getting scarier and scarier and scarier. And like just fucking do it, pull the lever, like, and so I'd have to do it again, but like, so to just do it. But I think it's because I was taking that extra time to stew on what I needed to do and not just do. And honestly, you know, like I heard somebody, I saw someone say it on a Facebook comment once that was like, sometimes I think I just got to where I am because I can't help but push buttons. Like when you see a button, like to push it and see what it does. And I literally, it's the first time I ever seen it like said that way. And I laughed out loud. And this like random Facebook friend of mine that I probably have never met. And I just instantly jumped on that thread. And I was like, don't go telling the world our secrets. Like, that's it. And like, honestly, Katie, I think some of it, like a lot of my growth happened in that toddler time when, you know, you don't have a concept of time and you just kind of have to trust yourself to know what to do. And so that's me that I fall into. It's like most of the time, like, I mean, I spend so much time sitting in these rooms learning this shit. Like I just gotta like get up.
I know.
Yeah. So for me, like, okay, so encouragement. Wow. This is wild. I literally
is
was
wild.
like, we're going to talk about this because I need help with it. Here y'all are.
Are you feeling encouraged yet?
Oh, good question.
Oh, wait,
Actually,
should we do that? Should we go around and encourage each other? Find the high eye in the room.
You know what my favorite TikTok sound is the one where Kris Jenner is like, "You are a rock star in my eyes," and it plays in my head all the time. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Biz.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm gonna like bring this to like a real vulnerable moment with it, but like, yeah, I am encouraged because I was feeling like I didn't know how to encourage people. Because I think sometimes I throw out so much of it because it's like I don't know where to go whenever I need it. And so if I am like always a resource to other people, maybe they'll be more receptive whenever I call them. And need it myself. And I don't know exactly like how to ask or how to be. And so it's like a lot of times for me, it's like I just want to know that that person will answer the phone when I call them because they don't even realize that they're encouraging me by just picking up the phone. And maybe that's because I struggle, like what you talk about, Ashleigh, with like telling people whenever I'm in a spot because I don't want to Eeyore a conversation. And so like to answer your question, like, do I feel encouraged? Like, yeah, like I do. Y'all as my friends have really like cracked a shell, I guess, with me and like seeping in where your words can matter more. And I'm really glad we're recording this so I can go back and listen to it the way through it, because like, yeah, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself a lot of times and don't just do. Or maybe it's not that I have a problem with just doing, it's like letting other people just do to me. Like that. And so I am encouraged. I'm encouraged. Yes, I am encouraged that is out there for me. I just need to take it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Either. Looking at both of you.
For everybody that is just listening, we just had a really lovely moment of everybody putting their hands up.
Just hands.
I would say, yeah, I do feel encouraged. That like saying like motivation is fleeting, and that's why we recommend a dose of it every day. And I feel like I need to like microdose motivation, like listen to exciting music in the morning, and then listen to a podcast that's gonna hype me up while I'm getting ready, and then like sit down on my computer and have an affirmation in front of me. Like I have to microdose motivation, I think. And that is something this conversation is helping me see, microdosing that and encouragement, and really recognizing that like I've always kind of known that what I'm looking for is solidarity, but I've never put those things together. Yeah. And I think that will help me in my bids when I'm going out and I'm like, I need encouragement. I can better phrase that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel encouraged.
But yeah. I totally see that like clear as day with you now too. And I think some of that too, Ashleigh, is like a strength of yours and how quickly you make decisions. Yeah. Like you literally, you're like, okay, I've been heard. I'm not an asshole. I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And like the way that you can do that is really inspiring.
Thanks.
It is.
Well, and I think also there's like Ashleigh, you are such a you are so strong in promoting other women and like fiercely building up other women. And so I think sometimes it's like probably for you knowing the safe spaces of like, hey, I can come here and recognize that like this girl is out of line, right? And you're not going to take that as me not being a girl's girl or me not like me cutting down another woman. This is just like objectively this person sucks, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's probably like feeling heard without like anybody questioning your
Feeling
character
petty.
or what you yeah. Well, I mean, and, you know, sometimes also
Yeah.
but like but like
Sometimes I preface it and I'm like, I fully understand this is petty and
oh yeah, Petty Crocker comes out sometimes.
Petty
for
Crocker.
sure. But yeah. but like I feel like being supportive of other women like fiercely is such a foundational and fundamental thing about you and something that you are very loud about. And so I think that like I hadn't thought about it that way for you either, that like it would be encouraging for you to know that somebody is going to see something and not consider it like not being encouraging of a woman, just see it for what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Katie,
Yeah.
do you feel encouraged?
Yeah, man, this is the most I've really laughed in like 3 weeks. So I feel really
yay! You're
I've been
funny,
smiling much.
Ashleigh.
I really like, and this is how you know things are like I mean, I haven't felt well either, so like you don't talk a lot,
Yeah.
but like I just haven't even my brain hasn't worked enough to put together words, but like I have just not even wanted to like speak to anybody. Like I've just been kind of like existing and like it has not been good. And I haven't wanted to have any encouraging conversations, honestly, because I went from like yeah, I was feeling so like whatever the opposite of encouraged is. And then it went from that into like battle mode and needing to encourage other people gladly. Like I'm not mad about that. And like I wasn't really in a place to like be encouraged. I wasn't done being upset.
Yeah, man.
You
You gotta
know?
process those feelings too.
Yeah. Yeah.
love
And
that.
I hadn't had time to. So I'm glad that we did this.
Me too. What a great topic, Biz.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Woo!
That's so
Okay.
good.
Well, Ashleigh, was really, I think it was your idea. I just pulled it off the Trello board that Katie had to remind me of where it was. So
Is that your first time in Trello?
like months since you made it. I really like it, by the way. It's super organized.
It is so organized. She did
I love
such a
how
good job
there
with
are all
it.
these things that are tied to me, and I am like, oh, that's great. Where did that come from? Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, it's literally when somebody else like setting up a Trello board to work properly is difficult. Using a Trello board that is set up well is amazing. So thank you for doing that, Katie, because it is amazing. But it's so funny, Biz, that you say that because I think I just shared something to my story like a couple days ago that was like, please don't ask me to repeat what I just said because I already forgot.
No.
So when you're like, these are your ideas, I'm like, okay, you could have told me they were yours and I would have 100% supported that.
She's like, I love that. Oh, thanks, guys. This is great. I'm so glad we do this. So
Can I bring up one last point? Sorry,
Yeah.
I meant to say this earlier, and I'll go back and like put it in somewhere. The other reason I'm glad you did this is because I meant to text Kristen Carter yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to. So I'm glad because I'm going to remember to do it today. It has been in my brain about how like I love to encourage people, right? And it's not, I know I talked about how intentional it is. It isn't always like if I see somebody I don't know, I'm going to compliment them on something. I'm going to try and encourage people, like whatever they're doing. God, especially moms out in the wild.
we see you, moms.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
see you.
And never, ever, you're going to miss this. It's never encouraging. But Kristen Carter has just had my wheels spinning because she is so supportive and encouraging of people, regardless of whether she agrees with them, supports. So like there are things where like I don't interact with things that go on in group chats because I maybe have like other opinions, or I'm like, well, I can't really like react to this because I I have a lot more to say or whatever. And she is so encouraging and supporting and loving. And if somebody wants to dive deeper, she will. And but her first thing, like, she's going to love you first. And it's just been in my brain so much about, like, do I restrict encouragement from people because there's something else that I think I need to address or like whatever? And can I remove that and just encourage the part of them that needs encouraging? So this has already been like going around in my brain. So I'm really glad that we did this, and I need to text her and tell her thank you for challenging me.
You can do that, Katie. I think I know you can. I know you
Well,
can.
thank you. I believe that. And I think that it's like a mental hurdle. And so watching her do it in front of my face is like insanely helpful and beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad all of us got something out of this. And I hope that our listeners out there enjoyed it too. Like, y'all keep listening, like us, subscribe us, all that stuff. We're coming up on episode 21. I don't know exactly where we're at, but
this is number 19.
Oh shit, we're real close. Oh my God, guys. Y'all, go us.
We need to do something big.
Yeah, we got to start planning.
Okay. I don't know that we even ever talked about that in front of anybody on the podcast, but y'all, we read in the very beginning when we were like paralyzing ourselves with research before we just put a date on the calendar and did this, you know,
it was
flashback to our
Becca Lutz
flashback to our Let's Fucking Go episode. But yeah, Becca Lutz reached out to us and was like, people give up by episode 21. People
like
give
99% of people give up by episode 21.
Yeah, only the top 1% of podcasts make it to episode 21. So like that, and that was her encouragement to us, was like, we had released a couple episodes and she was like, this is amazing, keep going. Like,
yeah. Thanks for the encouragement, Becca.
In like 18 episodes, you're gonna be in the top 1%. And now we're so close.
We're 2 episodes to go. Gotta make them good.
So next time you guys leave us a review so lots of other people can find us and we can hopefully do many, many, many more wonderful episodes.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for all of you listeners out there that, oh my God, we're encouraged by you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Katie loves to chase those stats. We're like in every continent or something besides Antarctica now, right?
Somebody in Antarctica, find us, please.
Share with a friend, some explorer. Like, you will make Katie's life if someone from Antarctica tunes into our podcast.
Yeah.
And on that note, do.